Today on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. All year long, families from throughout the Southeast have been planning their Sundays, specifically the first Sunday of each month, around the Georgia Youth Bowlers Tour, or GYBT. This tour's mission is to provide opportunities to qualify for the Junior Gold Championships and prepare athletes for the event. Since its inception 14 years ago, GYBT has qualified nearly 1,000 boys and girls for the Junior Gold National Championships. This weekend, the most active bowlers on the Georgia Youth Bowlers Tour have gathered for the annual GYBT Tournament of Champions to crown 8 titleists. Celebrating junior bowling, elevating junior bowlers. This is Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Live on tape from Bolero Lilburn in Lawrenceville, Georgia. This is Coach Randy, welcoming you to episode 98 of Prodigy Bowlers Tour, the 2019 GYBT Tournament of Champions. Today, you're in for a special treat, as this is our first ever all-girls episode of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. We're here to bring you the championship round in the U17 Girls division. And the competitors here prove that in the 14 years of the Georgia Youth Bowlers Tour's existence, it has grown from being a Georgia-only tour into something much more, a regional tour that attracts young athletes from neighboring states as well. So, let's meet our 5 finalists in the U17 Girls division. Qualifying 5th and bowling in our first match today is Alyson Coryell. Alyson is 17 and carries a 207 league average at Fun Bowl of Henry County in McDonough, Georgia, on the south side of the Atlanta metro. Of the 5 bowlers you'll see today, Alyson is the only one who's appeared on Prodigy Bowlers Tour before. And 2 months ago, she finished 3rd at Pepsi. Alyson will face our number 4 qualifier, Ariana Echeverria. Ari is 16 and bowls at Bolero Columbus in Columbus, Georgia. She carries a league average of 177 and finished 4th at the Pepsi tournament in April. The winner of that opening match will face our number 3 qualifier, Bailey Snow of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Bailey is 17 and carries a league average of 213 at Smyrna Bowling Center in Smyrna, Tennessee. The winner of that match will face our number 2 qualifier, Taylor Edgerton. Taylor is 17 and brings a 199 league average from her home center, the Clubhouse in Statesboro, Georgia, down near Savannah. And the winner of that semifinal match will bowl for the title today against our tournament leader, Autumn Penbose. This 16-year-old bowls at Northside Lanes in North Augusta, South Carolina, where she carries a league average of 183. And that's our talented field today on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. If there are major championships in Georgia youth bowling for elite players, I would put the GYBT TOC at the top of the list. The GYBT TOC is the one tournament that attracts all the best youth bowlers in the state. Then you have the Pepsi tournament, and I would consider the state USBC tournament the third leg of junior bowling's Triple Crown here in Georgia. The GYBT Tournament of Champions is not only one of the most prestigious youth bowling tournaments here in the state of Georgia, it is also a demanding test of endurance. The kids bowl 2 blocks of 5 games each on Saturday. Then they return to bowl a 3rd block of 5 games on Sunday morning when the field is cut to the top 5 in each division for the stepladder. In those 3 blocks, they will bowl on 1 short pattern, a medium pattern, and a long pattern. And then for the stepladder finals, they'll face a 4th pattern. More about that in a minute. Here were the scores after Saturday's opening block of games. As you see, Bailey Snow seized the early lead over Allison Coryell. All 5 of our championship round finalists were in the top 6, with Pepsi champion Glory Harmon in 3rd place. Then, after the afternoon block on Saturday, our 5 eventual finalists had risen to the top of the leaderboard with just a bit more jockeying for position left to go in the third block to get to the final seeding. Here you see their scores from the third block. Glory Harmon and Alyssa Fender both put on a charge in the third block, but just had too much ground to cover to get into the top 5. So, with our field set and our players all warmed up, I'll tell you that all 5 athletes got to practice for about 15 minutes on the championship pair. The 3 players waiting in the wings have a practice pair off to the right where they'll be able to stay loose. But right now, it's time we get this party started as our number 5 qualifier, Allison Coryell, faces our number 4 qualifier, Ariana Echeverria. Our official keeping an eye on the competition is the esteemed association manager of both the Greater Atlanta USBC and also the Georgia State USBC, Joe Spain. And we're glad to have him along for the ride to keep everybody honest. Ariana had the option and she has chosen to go first. She wants to finish last. Now you'll notice there'll be some bowlers to our right. Those are the U12 girls. Ariana gonna lead off. And gets a light shaker, mixes them up, and she has an X in the very first frame. Take another look at it. 4-step approach. Very controlled backswing. Nice and easy. And now we get our first look of the day at Alyson Coryell. You've seen Allison on Prodigy before. She came to Bolero Roswell to bowl with us a couple of times. Crosses over and gets a strike in the first frame. Take another look at that shot. We'll see the angle that Allison is playing. Like all the girls today, playing down and in. This oil pattern not really conducive to swinging the ball out to the right. She gets a crossover strike to begin. Players know that if they send it wide, it's not coming back. So they will be very careful to avoid throwing it to the right, and I would expect we'll see some Brooklyns today. They're protecting against losing the ball to the right. There's another crossover. This time she leaves the 5-pin. Well, Allison, 17 years old, heading off to college this fall. Will be going to the University of the Cumberlands on a full bowling scholarship. That's pretty cool. And she takes care of the spare. Well, as I mentioned earlier, in the 3 blocks of qualifying, they bowled on a short, medium, and long oil pattern. Here for the stepladder finals, they've got the 2018 Junior Gold TV Finals oil pattern. 40 feet in length, about a 3-to-1 ratio. You're not going to get much help from the oil line in guiding the ball to the pocket. And a slightly below average volume of oil, so they should have no problem getting the ball to move right to left. We saw some right there as Ariana crosses over and leaves the 6-9-10. Now, as I mentioned, the tendency on some shots is for the ball to sail wide right if you miss right. Well, on that note, sometimes when they're going cross lane at corner pin spares, on the right side, it's easy to lose the ball to the right. So you got to go straight at them. She moves to the left side of the lane and will cross lane at the 6-9-10. But that's just exactly what I was talking about. The ball sails wide on her, and she slipped past the 6-pin. That's 8 out, and the first mistake of the day. An open frame in the second, and Ariana now trails by 14. Ariana, 16 years old, has a league average of 177. She bowls at Bolero Columbus in Columbus, Georgia, site of the Pepsi tournament. Comes in thin this time. Leaves the 2-7. That's the left-hander's baby split. A little easier for a right-hander, actually, because you're hooking the ball from the right to left and narrows the gap between the 2 pins. Put the ball on the left side of the 2. The ball will deflect over into the 7. Play this cross lane or from about the strike position over on the right side of the lane. Let the ball catch the left side of the 2. Easy enough when you're sitting back here watching it. Not so easy when you got to throw it yourself. But she gets too much of the 2 pin, and that's back-to-back opens for Ariana, and now she trails by 25. Well, I mentioned that Allison going to college this fall on a full bowling scholarship. When Mike Bonzik launched the GYBT 14 years ago, a grand total of 2 kids had gone to college through bowling scholarships. My, how times have changed. Crosses over, just barely ticks the head pin. Leaves the 3-5-6. You know, by now, at least 100 kids have gone through GYBT to collegiate bowling. Allison missing the spare to the right, sending the 3-pin in front of the 5. And now she has an open frame, and her lead is down to 11. Well, this weekend, close to $22,000 in Smart Scholarship Awards will be paid out to these young athletes. Monies that have been collected and accrued throughout the 2018-19 season in entry fees. Paid out for where they finish in the 2019 Tournament of Champions, as well as the Bowler of the Year Scholarship Award, which is also going on at the same time. Mike Bonzik and his GYBT team should be proud of the way they've grown this program through the years. This time she crosses over and gets a strike. You just heard the cheer go up over on lane 5. I think this was Carson Barnes making the 3-7. Nice shot. Well, this is Ariana's first season bowling the GYBT, so this is her first GYBT Tournament of Champions as well. She finished first at Cherokee Lanes in Canton earlier this season. Had a 3rd in Columbus and a 5th at Douglasville. Goes high, and this time she'll get the right-hander's baby split. The 3-10. Now we recommend moving to the extreme left side of the lane to shoot this. Put the ball on the right side of the 3-pin. Let it deflect off into the 10. And this spare is made easier the farther left you can stand. You see, you stand farther left, it narrows the gap between the two pins. The farther right you play, it widens the gap and means you have to be that much more precise to convert the spare. And she covers it perfectly. That is well done by Ariana. And that keeps her within 11 of Allison. Watch this one again. She plays it down the right side. We don't recommend that, but she puts it in exactly the right spot. When you can be that precise, you can play it from anywhere. Carefully placing herself on the approach. A little high that time. Leaves just the 6. Tricky, tricky. These lanes don't give you much wiggle room, do they? You miss right, the ball sails. You point it a little bit, and it goes through the nose or goes Brooklyn. Very demanding oil pattern. She'll go cross lane at the 6 pin, using her plastic ball. Ooh. Well, she ran by the 6 pin earlier when she was shooting at the 6, 9, 10. She nearly ran by it again that time, but just ticked it. And that's a spare. So Allison's lead is 12. But she's got a strike up in the 4th. So she can extend that lead to 22 if she can catch a double here. These young athletes will play very deliberately, especially with the group bowling on the pair to their right. Oh my goodness. Well, that's certainly not what she had planned for. The ball not only missed the pocket, it missed the head pin to the left. Runaway train. She leaves the 1-3-6. You shoot this just like a strike. Put the ball on the 1 and 3. Oh, she gets it on the left side. Not the way we coach it up, but when you're in the championship round, bowling for a big tournament like this, it's not how, it's how many. So she maintains her 12-pin advantage. Oh my goodness, she sent half the rack over at the 7 pin. A couple of pins rolled around it, but it stubbornly refused to fall. Take another look at it and see if we can pick out what happened. It looked to me like the ball quit on her. Watch it. Over the second arrow now, it will start its climb to the pocket, and then it just flattens out at the end. See how it quit? That's what we call the quitter 7. She throws her spare ball at it. You may need to look away, or you may drift off into a hypnotic trance watching that ball go down the lane. Well, the U12 girls who are to our right, there are only 2 of them in the stepladder. The number of finalists in the stepladder is relative to the number of participants in the age group, and the U12 girls is the smallest age group they have. There are only 2 in the stepladder, so once they complete their championship match here, they'll be done, and we'll be all to our own down here on the end pair. Just comes up a little thin, and Ariana leaves the 2-5. Got to be careful with this one when you're coming in from the right side. It opens up the gap between the 2 and the 5. You got to be careful not to chop the 2 off the 5. Usually when we coach this, we coach them to play it down the left side of the lane. It narrows the gap between the pins, making it somewhat less likely for a chop. But a lot of kids prefer to play it down their strike line, and Ariana takes care of it beautifully. So, 13 pins separating these 2 young ladies. Ariana's dad is her coach, and he's coaching her up between frames. Goes Brooklyn, leaves the 6. She's very calm, at least on the outside. You wonder, though, what's going on in the inside. Heart's pounding away. Palms a little sweaty. What's going on between the ears? No problem with the 6 pin this time. Ariana, very cerebral player. Allison in her 3rd season bowling the GYBT. Oh boy. Right through the nose, and now she's got the 6, 7, 10. That's how you make it. Put the ball over on the right edge of the 6 pin, slide it across the lane into the 7. The ball will get the 10. She'll get out this swirly ball. You are under my power now. But the pins don't cooperate, and Allison with an open frame. And look at this, we're 7 frames into this match, and this thing is all tied up. If we would happen to end in a tie, they would go to a 2-frame 9th and 10th style roll-off. And once again, she sends the 5 pin right in front of the 7 in the classic Swisher 7 leave, but I think once again we're going to see this ball quit on her. Watch it. It'll start to make its move to the left, and then right here flattens out. I don't know if there's a slick spot on the lane down there or what, but that's a problem. He has no problem converting the spare, however. You just got to figure out how to get that 7-pin to go down on the first ball. Now, Ariana has spent a good bit of this match trailing, but by just remaining patient and converting her spares, she finds herself right in the thick of it. 8 frames, spare up, all even. And she throws her best shot of the match and gets a strike. Watch this one again. Takes a very measured approach. Backswing only a little above her hips. And see you later, pins. That's 10 in the pit. Oh man, a double there would have been huge, but instead she goes through the nose, leaves the 6-10. She shot at the 6-pin enough times this match. She ought to have this down by now. Takes her time. We preach this all the time to kids. Spares, spares, spares. And she makes short work of the 6-10. So Allison up in the 9th, spare up, tied with Ariana. This bowling shirt she's got on was a graduation present from some friends. It looks just like her spare ball. And she leaves a shaker 7. That 7-pin has just bedeviled her this game. A couple of swishing 7s on the left lane, and now a shaker 7 on the right. It's like it's nailed down. She loses a pin in count and now trails by 1. Makes the 7. And she will head into the 10th frame trailing by a stick. Who can perform in the 10th frame? It so often comes down to that question, doesn't it? Oh, that one hooks high, nearly crossed over. She leaves the 6, 9, 10. This is the same spare Ariana missed earlier in the match when she sent the ball wide. Here's how you make it. Put the ball on the 6 and 10. You can make it on the other side as well. There you go. Got the hard part done. Now she just needs to fill it up, get as much count as she can. She's going to force Ariana to mark in the 10th. And how much Ariana will need will depend on what Allison does here on her fill ball. Possible 167. Crosses over, gets 9. It's going to be a 166. And that means that Ariana is going to need to fill 16 pins in the 10th frame. She must mark and fill 16. She's on a spare, so she's got to watch her count on the first ball in the 10th as well. Needs a spare or a strike. Oh no! What a time for this. The 4, 6, 7, 9. She actually got a break by having the 10 go out. It makes this a little easier to make. You can actually make this. Go for the 2 on the left. Shoot this like the 4, 9. If the 4 hits the back of the 9, it can knock the 9 forward into the 6. If the 4 slides into the front of the 9, the 4 will ricochet forward into the 6. You've got really 2 ways to make it if you go for the 2 on the left. Some players like to go for the 2 on the right. I believe it's harder to convert that way. It looks like she's going for the 2 on the right. But it's an open frame, and Allison has won the match. Wow. A dramatic finish, and Alyson Coryell is moving on to match 2 to face Bailey Snow next.
This is the Star Sapphire, a gem of hypnotic beauty. Now, Brunswick captures that same deep sapphire glow in a beautiful new bowling ball, the Brunswick Crown Jewel. Every movement brings out new mystery and beauty. A unique material gives you a firmer grip, a new promise of scoring accuracy. And its lasting luster will look new for years in your choice of glowing ruby red, iridescent black pearl, or shimmering sapphire blue. To own the new Crown Jewel is a permanent satisfaction. A prized possession you'll treasure for life. Made only by Brunswick, the #1 name in bowling. Step into fun. Learn to bowl free.
The fast and easy Brunswick way. Sign up at your favorite lanes today.
He kicked everybody's butt in the qualifying round. Announcing a Prodigy Bowlers Summer Tour special event.
Alternate and curve it, try to make it.
For littles only. It's a first-of-its-kind Prodigy Bowlers Tour competition as we open up the field to nothing but the pint-sized prodigies. Kids 11 and under are encouraged to come. Saturday, July 20th at Bolero Roswell. With the coveted trophy pin already awarded, we'll have a special prize for the winner. It's Prodigy Bowlers Tour's first ever for littles only event. All littles, all the time. And if we get enough in the micro size, we'll break them off into their own division. So if you've got a future star in the making who wants to be on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, this is the event for you. It's the Prodigy Bowlers Summer Tour for littles only special event. Saturday, July 20th. Sign up at 11:30 a.m. Qualifying starts at noon. Entry fee is just $10. Must be 11 or younger to be eligible. Parent or legal guardian must accompany the child. Join us at Bolero Roswell in Roswell, Georgia. Saturday, July 20th. And look who just threw the shutout ball. Alyson Coryell is breathing a sigh of relief as she left the door wide open for Ariana Echeverria. And while I know that Ariana is disappointed that things didn't go her way in the 10th frame, she bowled a good match and had a chance at the end. These types of losses are tough to swallow, but she'll learn from it and be better next time. And a 5th place finish in this prestigious event is nothing to sneeze at. But it's Allison Coryell who gets to continue, and now she'll face our number 3 qualifier, Bailey Snow. If average is any indicator, and I know some people who believe it's the best indicator, Bailey might be the one to watch here. She's got the highest league average of any of our 5 finalists today. She took the lead after the first block and has stayed close to the top of the leaderboard ever since. Now both of these girls are looking for their second wind so they can sprint through 3 more games to the finish line. Bailey had the choice, and she is elected to lead off. Comes in thin on the opening toss. Leaves the 2-4-5-8, the bucket. Here's how you make it. Put the ball on the 2 and 5. Let the ball drive through and carry out the back pin. The 2 will get the 4. As she flirts with danger, nearly chopping the 2 off the 5, but she gets them all. And that is a spare to begin. You take them however you can get them. Well, earlier this year in April, Allison competed in the Youth European Trophy in Switzerland. She made it past the first cut and then finished 23rd, but that's pretty cool, bowling in a tournament in Switzerland. And I think she's getting sick and tired of looking at the 7-pin today. That field in Switzerland, she bowled against young athletes from Ukraine, Germany, Russia, Ireland, Denmark, France, and many other places. That was quite an experience for her. Ooh. Well, there are 39 boards on a bowling lane, and there's no sense in letting any of them go to waste. She uses the last one to convert the 7-pin. And this match is all even. Allison's won a couple of times on the GYBT this year. She finished first at Bolero Norcross and at Stars and Strikes in Dallas. That's Dallas, Georgia, for those of you wondering. Crossover strike in the second. And she says, all right, that'll do. Kind of makes up for that 7-pin. A high hit for Bailey. Leaves the 6-10. Bailey with a very simple game. This is a tall girl with long legs, long arms, long reach. Got a great follow through, a great motion through the release. The thing I like about her game so much is that she uses her height to her advantage by getting super low at the line. When you have a long reach like she has, it can be an advantage, but only if you get low at the line. Look how low she gets. Mixes them up, but we've seen the 7-pin behave like it's nailed down on that left lane. Bailey finds the same kind of action that Allison has seen a couple of times today. She'll go with her plastic ball at the corner pin. Plays it down the left side of the lane to perfection. So Bailey has 3 spares right out of the gate. Now Allison working on a strike. Hates it. And you can see why. Doing a little rehearsal with her arm there as she comes back to the ball return. I think she felt like she maybe cut that one a little short. May have let her elbow kick out a little bit on the release that time. Sometimes when you do that, get your hand to the outside of the ball, you tend to pull it. That's more like what she wanted on the first ball right there. But a spare strike, spare beginning. She has a 3-pin lead. This is Allison's 3rd GYBT TOC. Last year she finished 15th. The year before she finished 8th in her first GYBT TOC. So this is going to be her best finish yet. Just a fraction high. Breaks down the 4-9, leaves just the 4. Allison, a really good spare shooter. No problem there. Once again, cutting sharply through the nose. Lucky to avoid the split, Bailey leaves the 6-10. Good shot. Another solid spare. Now this is Bailey's 2nd trip to the GYBT TOC. Last year she qualified in the 5th position to make the stepladder, and then she lost her match to Tony McQuarrie, or as we like to call her here on Prodigy, Tony the Tigress. Tony went on to win the TOC last year. There's no shame in losing to the player who goes on to win it. Bailey shows us once again how to leave the swish and 7 on the left lane. How many times have we seen that today? And she covers it. So 5 frames, 5 spares for Bailey Snow. And now Allison back up on the right. Nursing a slim 5-pin lead. That looked pretty good off her hand, but it just broke a little too sharply, and she leaves the 3-6-10. And her lead now is down to just 2 pins. One of the keys to bowling a clean game is leaving easy spares. This one a little trickier than some. She turned away as soon as she let it go. I think she may have slipped or perhaps stuck at the line. And that's the first mistake of the match. The only open frame we've seen thus far in match 2. And Allison surrenders the lead to Bailey. That's a perfect shot right there. 10 back. Five-step delivery. Playing up about 11 or 12 at the arrows. Puts that one right in the pocket. All right, Bailey. Let's see if she makes a slight adjustment. Still high, and you just get the sense that these girls are being very careful not to miss right. All their mistakes are to the left, it seems. And she's got the 3-9. You want to hit it right on the face of the 3-pin to make sure and get that sleeper 9. Just like that. When you've got double wood like that, I always recommend using a hook ball, not a plastic ball. Gives you the right side of the front pin to hit as well. The ball can drive on through. Oh, the stone 9. She gives a wry smile to her parents. Like, I couldn't have thrown that one much better than I did. Another spare. Sometimes these matches where you don't see the big string of strikes, they can be very interesting. And another 7-pin for Allison. My goodness. How many 7-pins has she left today? This time it's the shaker 7. We've seen swish and 7s and shaker 7s. About the only thing we haven't seen yet is a stone 7. Don't give the pins any bright ideas. Down goes the spare. The lead remains 6 for Bailey Snow. You get the feeling that this one's going to go down to the end as well, just like the first match did. It doesn't look like these lanes are going to yield any big strings of strikes. Well, she threw that one pretty well, just a little high. Leaves the 4. She will take extra care on this. You see players get careless with single pin spares. Can't afford to miss them here. She gets it. Well, that time, I think that's the first one we've seen just get away to the right all day. 1, 2, 4, 8. You make it by putting the ball on the 1 and the 2. Let the 2 get the 8. The ball will ricochet down and get the 4. Just like that. She makes it look easy. But the lead gets thinner and thinner when you lose pins and count, like she did on that first ball. It's down to just 3 pins now. And now she gives herself a real challenge. The baby split, the 3-10. We've seen this earlier today. Both the left-handers and right-handers baby splits have been left. She gets too much of the 3-pin. And now she hands the lead right back to Allison. So Bailey, who was going along with a clean game up to that point, 8 straight spares, opens up in the 9th, and just like that, Allison goes up by 10. Here in the 9th, working on a spare. And she comes in thin, breaks down the cluster, leaves just the 5-pin. Makes this a much easier conversion than what it could have been. Just throw this one like a strike ball. Nothing to it. So, Allison takes a 9-pin lead into the decisive 10th frame. She'll need a double to shut out Bailey. Anything less, and Bailey can catch her. Uh-oh. Trouble. The 3, 6, 7, 10. Well, Allison, who survived her opening match when her opponent left a wide open split in the 10th, now Allison's got one of her own. Here's how you make it. Put the ball on the right side of the 3. Send that 3 over into the 7. Well, she went for it boldly, but that's 8 out. And now Bailey's task is pretty straightforward. She needs to fill 14. So any kind of a mark and then 4 pins. That's any kind of a mark. That's the best kind of mark. A strike on the first ball in the 10th, and that makes her job a whole lot easier the rest of the way. This one's going to come in just a little bit high. Watch the 2-pin go to the wall and trips the 4. So she needs 4 pins, and she gets 2 throws to get them. She only needs 1. That's 7. That's enough. And Bailey Snow has won this second match. And this young woman from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, will go on and bowl in our third match. It's going to be Bailey Snow against Taylor Edgerton in our semifinal when we return after this.
Can he keep this roll going? You better believe it.
At just 15 years old, Solomon Salama, a two-handed lefty from Beverly Hills, put on a nail-biting performance at the Junior Gold Championships.
How about 10? Yeah!
It's got a hold, and it does!
A possible perfect game.
Got it.
Here he goes for the 300. Solomon! He finishes with a 299.
That game clinched the championship for Solomon, who made bowling history that day, becoming the first Junior Gold competitor to win back-to-back titles.
How about this young man? 299 in the second game, and he's a champion.
It took a lot of work for Solomon to walk across the lanes with this trophy. The Junior Gold Championships had a record number of competitors this year, with 602 boys competing in the U17 division. Each bowler rolled 16 games before moving on to a 5-game advancer round, followed by double elimination match play, which featured televised 2-game matches with total pinfall determining the champion. Solomon's historic win had people in the bowling community talking, but none are as proud as Solomon's parents.
What he did was quite amazing, and I was very happy to have shared that with him.
Solomon's mom, Lisa, has watched her son grow into the competitive bowler that he is today, a journey that all started a decade ago.
Well, when I was 5, I went to a friend's birthday party at Pinn's Bowling Alley, and I just fell in love with it right from the start, first ball.
The rest is history. He begged me to go bowling every weekend after that.
Through the years, his love for the sport has grown. But when he realized his two-handed technique was used by one of the greats, he started looking at bowling a little differently.
I guess when I was about 9, my dad showed me my first video of Jason Belmonte, and I realized that my style could work. So that kind of launched my whole competitive nature in bowling, yeah.
From that point, Solomon joined a league, got a coach, entered tournaments, and eventually landed a spot on Team USA.
I like to try and win. I like to see what I'm made of, I guess. You know, I've always been that way in really anything.
And after his first Junior Gold win in 2016, he got to meet his idol, two-handed bowling legend Jason Belmonte.
There were no words that I could have described that situation, you know. It's just, oh my God. Here's Jason Belmonte. Oh my God, I won. Oh my God, he's complimenting me. You know, it's really just, it's surreal.
But it's not celebrity meetings or high scores that Solomon enjoys most.
You know, I think the social aspect of it is really what it means for me to be a bowler. You know, that sense of community that you get with other people that you bowl with is just really one of a kind thing. That's really what I feel like being a bowler is about.
And as it turns out, his parents enjoy the same thing.
We learn through bowling how much we have in common, and it's not just that our children bowl. And it's a wonderful thing about the sport. It brings you close to people beyond just kind of the bowling itself, and I would have never expected that.
It's just such a lovely family experience for us.
An experience Solomon's entire family plans to continue for years to come.
I hope it's not a single memory. I hope it's just kind of a general positive reflection on the collective experience we've had together, and that's something that he can take forward with him.
Two matches, two close contests. each one coming down to the 10th frame. But in match 2, it was Allison Coryell who made the final mistake, splitting in the 10th, opening the door for Bailey Snow, who slammed it shut with a strike. So it's Bailey who's moving on to match 3 to face our 2 seed, Taylor Edgerton. You could make a case that of our 5 stepladder finalists today, Taylor has been the most consistent over the course of this weekend. She finished no worse than 4th in any of the 3 qualifying blocks. Whoever wins this match will then bowl for the title against Autumn Penrose in the championship match. So there's no time like the present for these girls to find their A games. Oh boy, there's trouble right out of the gate for Bailey. And we've talked about it. Players have been guarding against missing the head pin to the right. Just doesn't want to recover. There's the 1-2-4-10, the washout. Put the ball on the left side of the head pin, throw it over into the 10. The ball will get the 2 and the 4. But that's too much head pin and 8 out for Bailey and an open frame to start. And now we get our first look at 17-year-old Taylor Edgerton of Statesboro, Georgia, down near Savannah. Little high. Leaves the 3-6. Taylor's got a little hand in the ball. She can rev that thing up. Covers the spare. So she takes the early lead over Bailey. Well, this weekend, GYBT raised about $450 for Bowlers Veterans Link. If you want more information about BVL, visit www.bowlforveterans.org. And Taylor rips the rack in the second frame for her first strike of the match. And now Bailey trying to regroup after that open frame. Well, pulled it, gets the Brooklyn. Looks back to her parents. Here's her footwork. She's got a very straight walk up to the foul line. That is textbook. That's another Brooklyn for Bailey. You take them however you can get them. Now you compare Bailey's straight steps up to the foul line with the way Taylor does it, and she walks to the right. We don't usually coach this. See how she steps to the right? She gets the wall shot as the head pin goes to the left wall. We'll see it again here on an instant rewind. Watch the head pin. She'll hit it light. The head pin will go to the left sideboard. Come back and get the 4, 5, and 7. Boom. But Taylor actually walks very straight until her last 2 steps, and then she walks to the right. We don't coach that. But boy, if you can throw it like that every time, you can walk any way you want. I am especially familiar with this because I do the same thing. And I've been trying to correct it for years, and I think it's just imprinted into my game. It's not going to change. Well, another one that gets away to the right a little bit for Bailey. This time it gets a piece of the head pin, and she manages to get 9. Leaves the 2. And covers it. Well, Bailey bowled in 4 GYBT events this season. Her best finish was at Woodstock, where she finished 1st. And I'm guessing she got a bunch of hits like that. Watch this one again. Very simple delivery. Not a lot to go wrong with this delivery. All right, Taylor got 3 in a row. Now she fell a little off balance at the line that time. That will happen sometimes when you get your shoulders too far forward. It's the washout, the 1, 2, 4, 10. We've seen this before today. Put the ball on the left side of the head pin and throw it over into the 10. See what she can do with it. Oh, she can make it. How about that one? Let's watch that again. This will find the left side of the head pin. It'll go into the wall and come back and slap out the 10. Watch her reaction to it this time. Little fist bump. This time she goes high. Lucky to get out of there without a split. The 6-10. He will grab the removable thumb out of her strike ball and pop it into her urethane spare ball and go cross lane at the 6-10. Ooh. But she chops it. And that 17-pin lead is now 6. And Bailey, working on a strike, can take the lead if she can put another one on the board here. Nearly gets a Brooklyn. But the 9 remains. And she covers it. Well, Bailey also bowled in the recent Storm Youth Championship at Music City, up near her hometown, with a credible 13th place finish. There's the ripper that we've been looking for on that left lane. We've seen so many swish and 7s, she finally carries a swisher. Over the 3rd arrow, out to about 12 it looks like. They don't have the down lane tracers on these lanes, so you just have to estimate. Taylor a little high with that one, leaves the 4-7. Had trouble staring at her for an instant. The 9-pin went late. Looks like she's going to play this one down the left side of the lane, or maybe the center of the lane. Nope. I didn't factor in her drift to the right. She cross-laned that one. The reason we don't coach walking to the right for a right-hander is that you tend to walk into your swing, and the modern thinking is to let the swing be the thing and you walk around the swing. That's the way they're all doing it nowadays. Taylor crosses over that time and leaves a tricky little cluster, the 1-3-9. You got to hit this one in the light pocket, closer to the 3-pin. If you hit this right in the solid strike pocket, you're liable to hook by and leave the 9. You want to hit light. Like that. So with that spare, Taylor maintains a 3-pin lead. But once again, Bailey has a strike up and can take the lead with another one right here. But instead, she gets a pocket hit, and the 10-pin won't go. I think that's the first 10-pin we've seen today. She gets it. So once again, we're going to go down to the 9th and 10th. Brooklyn hit. Leaves the 5-9. Sharing her thoughts about that one with her parents. Look out. Gets it. Well, Taylor with 4 tries at the GYBT this year. Finished first in Augusta. Oh boy. This is the head pin to the right this time and leaves the 1-2-8. Got a hit on the left side of the head pin. Drive the 2 pins straight back into the 8, or have the ball take out all 3 pins. Uh-oh. She gets too much of the head pin. And you know, they say football's a game of inches. Take a look at this. That's how close she was to converting that spare. A whisker. All right. Well, if Taylor can throw 3 strikes in the 10th, she'll force Bailey to double to beat her. Just a little bit high. Man, that was close. But it's a 4-pin. So she's going to give Bailey an opportunity to close her out here in the 10th frame. Taylor needed a double to put some heat on after that open in the 9th. Now there's a spare. So she needs good count here. She needs 8 or better to force Bailey to mark. There's 8. So Taylor finishes with a 184. So even if Bailey gets 9 on her first ball, she would need to make it to win. So she must mark. And that's the best way to do it. She did that last game, didn't she? Trip 4 in the 10th to win. She's got a beautifully straight arm swing. And I'll tell you what, you can say what you will about revs and all the other stuff that goes into today's modern power game. But if you've got a golden arm swing like the one she's got, it'll hold up under pressure. And Bailey Snow is going on to bowl for the championship. She has just won her second match in the stepladder. And Taylor Edgerton will finish third in this event. That's a 202 for Bailey. And a congratulatory handshake from Taylor, but it's Bailey Snow who'll face Autumn Penrose for the title when we return.
I just saw a kid eating Kellogg's Rice Krispies without the milk. We'd better look into this. In the meantime, just try to blend in. We're cartoons. How do we blend in? Easy. We roll. Look, there he is. He's eating a Kellogg's Rice Krispie Squares bar. Relax. Now kids can take us everywhere.
Except for Pop.
You can't take him anywhere.
And then there were two. Taylor Edgerton put up a brave fight and bowled her heart out. But two open frames did her in. The chopped 6-10 in the 6th and the 1-2-8 that she couldn't convert in the 9th just put her in a box from which she was unable to extricate herself. And Bailey was only too happy to walk through the opening it gave her. So now we move to the championship match, where our 3 seed, Bailey Snow, will face our tournament leader, Autumn Penrose, for the championship. Autumn posted the second highest Block 3 total score behind Ariana Echeverria earlier. So Autumn has had a hot hand all day today. But now she steps in just as Bailey Snow seems to have made friends with the championship pair of lanes. Their hearts are beating a little faster as the moment of truth has arrived. One of these two girls is going to emerge as the 2019 GYBT Tournament of Champions winner in the U17 Girls division. So sit back and enjoy as these two go head-to-head for a chance to win one of the biggest tournaments youth bowling offers in the state of Georgia. Autumn has elected to let Bailey lead off. And Bailey leads off with a solid pocket hit that trips the 9. And she's got a strike on the board to begin. Watch this one again. Over the 3rd arrow, maybe a board inside it. Just a little high. The ball misses the 9 on the left, but something comes back and gets it. So she's got an X to begin. Now Autumn. And a light shaker and leaves the 4-8. This young lady, 16 years old, a 183 league average at Northside Lanes in North Augusta, South Carolina. This is her 3rd season bowling the GYBT. And let me tell you, she's about as active as they get. Oh, man, what a bad break. As she sends the 4 in front of the 8. And that's an open frame to begin. Bailey with a quick lead. Now, talking about Autumn being active, she's bowled just about every event the GYBT has held this year. And she kept inching up the leaderboard until finally, last month, she finished 1st in Canton at the event held at Cherokee Lanes. Well, we have a bit of a delay as there is dead wood in the left gutter on lane 1, so while we wait for them to clear that, gives me the opportunity to mention to you a new innovation that they have implemented at the GYBT called Bowl Metrics. It's actually something that Logan Fossum's dad, Ted Fossum, developed. He's a computer programmer, code writer, and now you can follow the GYBT's scoring updates as they happen. As soon as they scan in their game scores after each game, it updates instantly online, and you can follow it along. That's what everybody does inside the bowling center. Bowl Metrics, BOWLMETRIX.com. Well, this delay has given Autumn a chance to collect her thoughts. And she threw a good one after the delay. Watch this again. Looked to me like she gave it a little extra loft to delay the hook. And the 2-pin will go to the left wall. And it slices between the 4 and 7 and kicks them both out. And that is a solid strike. Oh my goodness gracious. What a break. And Bailey turns to her parents and says, that could have been very bad. Well, that's the understatement of the day. Watch this. She had the 7-9-10 standing. But they all collapsed. And that's a double to begin. And then she crosses over and gets the 3rd strike of a turkey. And Autumn can't believe what's just hit her. Watch this. She only missed by about a board at the arrows, and it goes Brooklyn. Autumn's 31 pins down, and she's barely had time to lace up her shoes. But she gets a Brooklyn to go, and that'll cut the lead to 21 anyway. Falls off balance just a little bit. Whenever I see someone fall off to the right, it's usually because they get their shoulders a little too far forward, out over their toes. If they'll keep their shoulders back, keep their feet under them, they'll stick the landing. Crosses over, nearly had the 5-10 that time. But just the 5. Very manageable spare, this one. She sure would have liked to have gotten another strike, though. That would have cut the lead a little more. But as it is, she trails by 22 with a conversion. That's a nice positive throw there. And now Bailey back up on the right lane. Well, I know she's not trying to do that. Get Brooklyn's and nosedives to go. Everything looks to be in pretty good position. She just pulled it a little left. But that's 4 in a row and a 32-pin lead. And then she rips the rack and leaves a swishing 7. How many of those have we seen on lane 1 today? My goodness. That was the best ball she'd thrown all game. She gets the spare, though. But now Autumn, with the game almost half gone, she's got to get busy. It's time to start a string of strikes right now. That one crosses over. She leaves the 6. She's remaining pretty calm right now. Now, not so much. She whips the 6-pin, and you could tell by her gesture she is not a happy camper. Well, although this is her 3rd season bowling the GYBT, it's just her 2nd GYBT Tournament of Champions. Last year, she finished 13th. This year, she's the #1 seed for the stepladder finals. But she's got her back to the wall now, trailing by 43. There you go, Autumn. She shreds the rack, rolls her eyes. She knows it's going to take a miracle at this point, but I've seen stranger things happen in bowling. Wow. A powerful strike by Bailey. She shreds the rack. And that'll send a message that, yeah, I may have gotten some lucky strikes earlier, but I've got a few of these in me too. Watch this one. Half pocket. Everything goes over to the 7. I dare you, 7-pin, to stand up. And 10 back. And that is quite a statement Bailey Snow just made. A ripper on the right lane and high flush on the left. "53 pins now. And the 10 won't go for Autumn. And when it rains, it pours. She has a possible 216 if she makes this and takes it off the sheet. But instead, the ball falls off into the gutter and trouble. The best Autumn can do now is a 2:04. Bailey can just about sleepwalk the rest of the way and bring this one home. That's a ripper for Autumn, but they have been few and far between. She bowled so well to get here. And you can tell by her facial expression that she's disappointed. That tells you how much she wanted this. Now there's a baby split for Bailey. Now let's just project this forward. If Bailey were to happen to open here, she'd have 180, let's call it 85 in the 8th. Well, there it is, an open frame. And she does now have 185 in the 8th. If Autumn were to happen to strike out, Bailey would need a mark in either the 9th or the 10th to win. But one more mark ought to do it. And there's one more mark. An emphatic strike by Bailey Snow. She won a couple of close ones in the 2nd and 3rd matches today. But this one is going to be a rout. And with that, it's over. Bailey Snow has won the U17 Girls Championship in the 2019 GYBT Tournament of Champions. And she did it in convincing fashion. She threw strikes in the 2nd and 3rd matches when she needed a mark in the 10th. And she just ran away and hid from Autumn Penrose here in this championship match. Yeah, she got a couple of lucky strikes in the early going, but she's thrown some good ones in this match too. She's thrown 4 good ones and got 3 lucky ones. Well, crossover's not there for Autumn here in the 10th, but it's all academic at this point. Well, the GYBT qualified 160 kids for junior gold this year. That is one heck of a record that GYBT founder Mike Bonzek should be proud of. There were over 100 that qualified for the GYBT Tournament of Champions this year. There were a few no-shows. They had right at about 100 bowlers in the championship. There is a 157 for Autumn. It's a disappointing final match, I know, for her. But if you'd have told her at the beginning of the weekend you're going to finish 2nd, I bet she'd have taken that. But it's kind of fitting that she'd leave a 7-pin in the 10th frame, as many of those as we've seen today. Bailey covers it. She's going to be in the 220s. Any questions? How about 225 to finish? She gets the congratulatory handshake from her vanquished opponent, Autumn Penvose, and here it is, the final ball. Sure looks easy when the pressure's off, but that's a steamroller right there. And Bailey Snow is your 2019 champion of the GYBT TOC in the U17 Girls. We'll get her to sign the pin right after this. Hey, it's me, Coach Randy, with exciting news about a new way you can help support Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Over the past couple of years, we've had a number of Prodigy fans say they'd love to offer something in payment for the Prodigy content seen each week on YouTube throughout the bowling season. Well, I'm pleased to announce that Prodigy is now on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Now, in case you're not familiar with it, Patreon is a platform where YouTube content consumers like you can connect directly with YouTube content creators like me and pledge a small amount of money each month to support the work that goes into creating the content that you enjoy watching. It's based on the age-old concept of patrons. About 30 to 40 hours of work goes into the production of each and every episode of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. So if you enjoy the content on Prodigy Bowlers Tour each week and you'd like to support the show, please check it out at patreon.com/Prodigy Bowlers Tour. There are 4 affordable subscription tiers, and each one offers a different reward, up to and including sneak peeks of shows before they're released to the public, exclusive behind-the-scenes content that only members will ever see, and there's even a tier that will enable you to get all that and get your name in the credits each week as a producer of the show. You'll be helping me to be able to continue making the show each week and even reinvest some of the money into improving the show going forward. Thanks for checking it out, and thanks for supporting Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Congratulations to all 8 winners today at the GYBT Tournament of Champions. And of course, you just witnessed the stepladder finals in the U17 Girls Division, our first ever all-girls edition of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. I've been wanting to do an all-girls show for a long time, and I'm thrilled that it finally happened. And what a championship round it was, with the first 3 matches all coming down to the 10th frame, and Bailey Snow dominating in the championship match. She may have carried a few lucky strikes in the early frames, but there was nothing lucky about the way she bowled the rest of the way. She is a deserving champion, and this young lady from Tennessee is someone our Georgia girls are gonna have to keep an eye on. So, I'm not sure you even know about Prodigy Bowlers Tour.
I've heard about it a little bit.
You've heard about it, but today you walked right into the sights of our camera and you were on it, and you probably don't even know this, but this was the first ever Prodigy Bowlers Tour all-girls edition that we've ever done, and you just won it!
Wow.
It's obviously bowled several of the GYBTs throughout the year, and here you are winning the TOC. That's pretty awesome. Congratulations. And there's a little honor that goes with it because you won on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. You get to sign what we call the coveted trophy pin.
I like that.
And in so doing, you also become eligible for the Prodigy Bowlers Tour Tournament of Champions. As if winning one Tournament of Champions wasn't enough, you could win another one, and there we award the pin.
That's so cool. Do I just sign it anywhere?
You just sign it anywhere and put today's date. It's 6/2/2019. And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of the 2019 GYBT TOC in the U17 Girls Division. It's Bailey Snow from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And it doesn't get any better than that.
Nope.
Congratulations.
Thank you.